Hello everybody, how you doing? Throughout this video, I'm going to increase the water intake until it reaches the point of no return. Why? Because what we have here is a budget mechanical keyboard called the Firerose MK3 by First Player. This keyboard was sent for me to review by First Player, and if you think I'm not going to go all the way with the water test, then you have another thing coming. What makes this keyboard special from many is that it's a lot cheaper than most mechanical keyboards, in just under $50 with blue clicky switches, and also it's hot swappable. With the box, First Player gives us an absolute clean presentation with a spider on the side and most of its details of removing switches on the back. Inside we have the keyboard, keycap puller for keycaps and switches, and 5 extra blue auto-move switches. Yeah, this keyboard uses a hot swappable PCB, or what First Player calls CIY, meaning change it yourself. Even though a lot of you may not be used to these switches, they do in fact only work with auto-moves and not others like Gateron, Kale, or similar Cherry MXs. I've tried Cherry MX blues and never liked them. The feeling of auto-move blue is like a cross between clicky blues and tactile browns. It's like a heavier blue Cherry MX switch. It just feels good when typing. The MK3 Firerose is one of 3 from its series, the others being black, while this one is the white MK3 version. The keyboard has the dimensions of these on the screen and weighs about 1 kg or under 2.2 pounds, which is pretty hefty since it has a frosted metal enclosing. Its cord is a non-detachable, non-braided USB coming at 5 feet or 62 inches from their website. Well, actually, it's instead 75 inches and around 6.25 feet, which is longer than my GMMK's cord, but it also has a large bump at the very end. Underneath, we have leg raisers that give the keyboard 2 positions in total. There's 2 rubber square pads that stop the keyboard from moving a little bit, but its weight plays a little bit more of a factor in making it more stationary. And at last, the Firerose logo, which appears above the arrow keys and the LED indicators on the top right. The keycaps are double shot ABS, but honestly they feel really decent. They're backlit, which is a great plus, and also shows dedicated shortcuts for things like lighting presets and brightness adjustments. The legends look great on the white version. Some might not be a big fan of the font decision that they took, but in this color it's actually a little bit better, almost as if the whiteness of the keyboard distracts you from the font itself. Weird, I know. Either way, it looks cool regardless. Okay, now I think it's time to have a little destructive fun. At this point, I think what we're gonna do is just drop some more liquids. I have here Kern, nectar, and a bottle filled with tap water. I didn't find any soda close to me, so we're gonna use these instead. I'm not a big fan of coconut or pineapple drinks, so it's a little bit reassuring that I'm not wasting food. The keyboard was still able to show off RGB lighting and still capable of outputting keystrokes onto the screen. It did show some errors with the spacebar by sort of tapping out of the program a lot. I count this as still working, but not really usable because of the spacebar. The keyboard has an IPX7 waterproof rating, meaning it's able to withstand 3 feet underwater for 30 minutes. The X in IPX7 is more about dust protection, which really doesn't matter in our application. The MK3 Firerose has 3 brightness phases, with the addition to changing its speed and having numerous lighting effects. One major thing to note is that you can't change the individual colors, but you can still create a safe custom layout and turn on and off the individual lights per key. You probably can't tell, but in the dark, these keys are really bright. I also love the fact that they didn't just choose random colors as some companies do. These have a better blend of colors by using light blue, purple, pink, red, and orange. This being under $50, with features like backlit, RGB, having a metal enclosing, long USB cord, waterproof, and a cheaper budget price, I don't see how you can't go wrong with this keyboard. But, is it really waterproof? Before we end this, let's see if it can go head to head with the common hose and house pool. Okay, right now we're at my backyard. I honestly don't recommend doing what I'm doing right now because this is like no way a real life scenario. Also for the pull, I didn't test it for 30 minutes because I didn't really see the point, and I didn't want to kill this keyboard because I kind of like it. Now the keyboard went insane when I plugged it in and eventually stopped working. At this point, I was a sad boy knowing that I killed the keyboard, but I did see some light on a few switches. So I unplugged the keyboard, took off the screws, cleaned the inside until the case and PCB had no visual signs of liquid, and then I flipped the keyboard on a soft cushion and waited until tomorrow morning to see if anything changed. I plugged in the keyboard and to my surprise, it f***ing works. It was like a miracle. I left the keyboard with only 2 screws prior, which is why it looks like this. With an online keyboard tester, it shows that all the keys work. Even though the FN isn't showing, we can test it with the lighting presets to not only showcase it works, but so does the lighting RGB within the board. I honestly didn't think the keyboard was actually going to turn on. I guess waiting around a day or two sort of fixes itself. Well, it looks like this keyboard actually passed the water test. If you're new or never tried a keyboard like this, links are in the description as well as other information to fix liquid spills, plus my affiliate links and places you can follow me. On that note, you can subscribe and hit the bell if you guys want to. I'll be posting more videos about this company and a future keyboard which has this one feature I think all keyboards should have, but don't. Until then guys, I'll see you on the next one. Love ya. Bye.